Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to Petronet LNG Limited Q3FY22 Earnings Conference call hosted by IIFL Securities Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Harshvardhan Dole. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Neerav. Greetings, everyone, and on behalf of IIFL Securities, I welcome you all for the third quarter FY22 earnings call of Petronet LNG. Firstly, I'd like to congratulate the management of the company for registering a great performance in challenging macro environment. Moving on to discuss the performance in detail and share the outlook for the subsequent quarters, we have the senior management team of Petronet LNG, represented by Mr. V.K. Mishra, Director Finance, Mr. Rakesh Chawla, CGM and President F&A, Gyanendra Kumar Sharma, CGM and VP Marketing, Devabrata Satpathy, GM F&A, Vivek Mittal, GM Marketing, and Ashwani Agarwal, Manager F&A. I would hand over the call to the management for their initial comments, post which the floor will be open for Q&A. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon to all of you. First of all, I would like to tell you that this quarter has been very difficult for us, but we have managed to give the best performance so far. So first thing I would like to highlight that PBT for this quarter has been 1,533 crore as compared to 1,105 crore in the previous quarter and 1,172 crore in the corresponding quarter. So there is a growth of almost 39% from the previous quarter and 31% from the corresponding quarter. And as regards PAT, it has been ever highest. If you look at, it has been in the range of 1,144 crore as compared to 823 crore in the previous quarter and 878 crore in the corresponding quarter. Here again, the growth is 39% as compared to previous quarter and 30% as compared to corresponding quarter. So this I wanted to start with a positive note that we have shown the resilience in this quarter, even though in these difficult times when the prices of LNG are very high and it is becoming difficult to procure short-term and spot cargo. Still, we have been able to manage the performance. So now let's start with the usage of our terminal. And if you look at the Dahej terminal, it has been utilized at the level of 86% as compared to 97% in the corresponding quarter and almost 99% in the previous quarter. But if you look at the volume-wise, you will find that it is 196 TBTU is the throughput in the Dahej terminal this quarter, as compared to 225 TBTU in the previous quarter and 222 in the corresponding quarter. And similarly, the total volume which has been there is 208, both Kochi and Dahej is 208 TBTU this quarter and 240 TBTU in the previous quarter and 235 TBTU in the corresponding quarter. This is a physical performance quarter-wise. If you look at the throughput in 9 months period, it has been very impressive, and we have processed almost 657 TBTU in the current quarter as compared to 679. Even the volume is less, still we have done in this difficult time the best possible. Then next comes, I have already told you about the quarterly profits. Now I will take you to 9 months profit, which has been very impressive. It is 3,489 crore as compared to 3,112 crore. This is PBT. And if you look at PAT, it has been 2,602 crore as compared to 2,326 crore in the corresponding period of previous year. So this is how the performance has been, and we have been able to manage our profitability despite low utilization because of our efficient commercial management, and we have done the operational efficiency we have done in this quarter. So all these have contributed to our higher profits. Now floor is open for the question. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and one on their touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and two. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. We'll wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Puneet from HSBC. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Kennedy. My first question is with respect to the note 4 in your accounts. How should one read that? Is it more in the nature of one-off or is it a regular business income? Can you help clarify, please?
Yeah, you are talking about the overall performance.
No, there's a note 4 which says that the long-term regasification agreement company has booked.
Yeah. It's basically use of pay charges you are talking about, and perhaps that is there as per contract, and it is to the extent of 347 crore in this quarter. So this is I was telling you that the high prices of LNG has in fact had the casualty on bringing spot and short-term cargo, and perhaps that's the reason that we had to impose use of pay charges on the off-takers whosoever are there, and that has not impacted our revenue because either they will use the capacity or they will have to pay with that as per the contract.
Okay, so this is for full year that you recorded in?
Yeah, it was a whole year because it's like this. We are having this contract year as calendar year. So basically, at the year end, we have to levy these charges. Otherwise, they have flexibility to bring in cargoes quarter to quarter, and if at the year end also they are not able to bring it in the whole year from January to December, then at the end of December we impose the use of pay charges.
Okay.
So this is for all 4 quarters taken together.
Understood. And have customers paid that or they are yet to pay this?
They are yet to pay. It is we have done the billing, so they have to pay it.
Okay. And then there was a similar item last time around, which also finds mentioned in 0.5 in the notes to account. Any further progress on that? Any more adjustment that you need to do there?
That is regarding, it has been there because if you look at use of pay charges, most of the use of pay charges are settled now, and right. Perhaps we have done it with one of the customers, and other one is there with whom we are in talks, and that will be resolved very shortly.
Okay. So out of the 143 crore, 54 was withheld and 65 has been written off, right? That's how one should read this.
Yeah, 65 was written off. That's true.
Yeah. Okay. And so the balance is still under discussion and likely to be recovered or whatever settled depending on the negotiation.
No, in fact, we have reached an agreement that after writing off the 65 crore, they will have to pay us balance amount 71 crore.
Okay, great. That's great. That's good. Right. But they are still yet to pay, right? I mean, that money is also not in your balance sheet in cash.
Yeah, they will pay it because this is recoverable. We have already reached a settlement whereby they have to pay it. And 65 crores, of course, we have written off after agreement.
Understood. That's very helpful. And any progress on the discussion with respect to the Kochi tariff?
Yeah, that is also under discussion, and perhaps it will be settled in 4th quarter. We will tell you after this end of 4th quarter what is the outcome.
Okay. That's very helpful. My last one is on the CapEx side. Any further, plans on building new capacity on the East Coast? Any further commitments have you done there so far, or is it still being evaluated?
No, it's going on. We are already in discussion as far as the terminal on the East Coast is concerned, and there are certain issues which are to be thrashed out. Of course, it's almost on a weekly basis we are taking a review of the project, and whatever developments are there, we are monitoring it. And since we have also engaged EIL consultant for this project, who are doing all the studies, pre-feasibility, and then they have to do the DFR things. All those things are going on simultaneously. But of course, the feasibility has to be seen from other point of view also, because how they worked out agreement, how it was shaped, all these things are yet to be decided. But of course, we are in discussion, and as and when that is finalized, we will come back to you.
Understood. That's very helpful. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. A request to all the participants, please restrict to one question per participant. If time permits, please come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Rakesh Sethia from HDFC Asset Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for the opportunity, sir. So just wanted to understand this user pay agreement a bit better. It seems to be a substantial amount which was raised last quarter. Does the off-takers have any, let's say, recourse or any flexibility where they can make up for these user pay charges in the subsequent years? Or once it's been billed, they are liable to pay these charges?
No, they are liable to pay as per the contract, because there is no provision in the contract that they can just shift the cargo to subsequent years. So this is not there as per contract. So as of now, you will say it is chargeable, and we have billed as per the contract.
Okay. And the flexibility what the off-takers have applies only during the year from quarter-on-quarter basis, but in the fourth quarter they need to make up for all the volumes, is it?
Very true, very true. It's in the fourth quarter they have to come up. Whatever commitment they have not met in the 3 quarters, they can meet in the fourth quarter also. Then use of the charges will not be levied. Otherwise, it will be levied after fourth quarter.
Okay. Just to follow up on the same, since the amount is substantially higher, I mean, if I just look at the number, for example, you had mentioned that even the previous spending is about about 200 odd crores. That was pertaining to 4 years, and this one quarter itself is about 348 crores. Do you think there could be pushback from the off-takers to sort of negotiate and maybe not pay the cash immediately, but just probably let's say elongate the value of the contract? So in NPV terms, it might still remain neutral to you, but they may do more volumes in probably 1 more year. If something kind of an proposal or something kind of an agreement would be open to for discussion?
Right now, as per contract, we are not doing, but of course, if there are real problems in the previous year, if you look at, there has been a COVID time in the first quarter, if you look at from April to June. It was in fact marred by this COVID pandemic. So I think because of that, we may think of it, but right now we have not done it, and perhaps there is no discussion right now. But of course, they are representing that this has been difficult time because of COVID. So it is up to our management and board to decide. But so far we have not shown any inclination towards just going down and saying that you can bring it in the future. But of course, everything is open now because that has been a difficult period, at least first quarter. And subsequent quarter, there is no excuse. So that is not something which can be relaxed. But of course, first quarter is there, which they have claimed that it should be considered, and in fact, they may bring it in future. So all those things can be done only after subsequent approvals and perhaps after taking management nod on this, and this all is still to be discussed if at all. So far we have not started the dialogue on these issues, but in future one cannot say that we will not discuss. And of course, they are off-takers. So if there is a genuine concern, that can be considered for subsequent year, but as of now, it is levied as per the contract.
Understood. LNG prices continues to remain high. Any change in utilization or any, how is the volume outlook as we talk, probably during the quarter? How do you see volumes panning out even probably in the subsequent quarter? Anything you can provide in terms of near-term outlook would be helpful.
Actually, prices are still very high as far as the spot gas is concerned. So there is real challenge in bringing the spot cargo, short-term cargo. They are very costly, still at $25, $26. So a real challenge is there, no doubt. But at the same time, if you look at the long-term volumes, they are coming as per schedule. There is no default in that. So perhaps we are saved by the long-term contract, and they are coming as per schedule. All cargoes, almost, I think, we have processed 61 cargoes in the previous quarter, and whatever long-term volumes are there, they are coming as per schedule. But only thing is spot volumes which used to come every quarter, it is becoming difficult for the off-takers to bring those cargoes, because at that price there is a real challenge for the off-takers to sell that gas at that price. So that is a big challenge for us, no doubt. But still, we are saved by the long-term contract capacity booked by the off-takers, which we have booked almost up to the level of 95% capacity. So that is saving us, and that's why we are able to levy use-pay charges in spite of their not bringing the cargo. So that is helping us a lot. In fact, we are immune to this kind of fluctuation to that extent.
Thank you very much. Rakesh, I'll request you to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. The next question is from the line of Kiran Mehta from BOB Caps. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity. Is there any discussion about the investment into the petrochemicals project? There has been some media news about it.
Can you repeat your question?
Is there any proposal about investment in petrochemical projects?
Yeah, it is there in discussion, of course, and we are in fact working on this project. And it's a proposal which will be analyzed threadbare, and only when there is a real return, and it is there, because petrochemical is a business where people are making a lot of money. And in India, where the consumption of polymers or plastic is very less as compared to the world average. So looking at that point of time and that point of thing, we are hopeful that in future the consumption of these products will increase, and perhaps then we have a lot of potential in that project. And after seeing that there is a lot of margin in that particular product, so we are thinking of that. But still, we have to work out all the feasibility reports and feed and other things which are under discussion. And perhaps after that, if it is really viable, then we will venture into that project.
Just to follow up on the same question, which are the chains which you are currently evaluating for investment? Which are the options you are looking at in the petrochemical project?
Basically, this will be a plant of PDH-PP. So this is basically, we are going to produce polypropylene to the extent of almost 500 KT. And then also we have the project of producing, which is one more product is there. So these two products, 750 and 500 KTA. So this is a small plant, not very big plant, but still We are looking at that particular product, which is PP, and one more product is there. So these two products are supposed to be produced from there. What is the name of it? Propylene and polypropylene. Anyway, yeah.
Right, sir. And could you also give us an update on the other capex projects? Those are under consideration in the current stage.
Other projects, one project which is already going on is construction of tanks. We are already doing this construction of 2 tanks at Dahej at a capex of 1,245 crores. And another project is which is coming up because board has approved it, so it will come up in a big way, is the construction of 3rd jetty at Dahej, where the capex of 1,650 crores. And apart from that, we also have ambitious plan of expansion of Dahej terminal from 17.5 to 22.5 MMTPA in future. So in the next 3 years period almost, it should be constructed. So 3-year period time is for tanks also and for this expansion project also. Jetty will also be ready by that time only. So these are the plans we are going, because the board has approved tanks construction, board has approved jetty construction, board has yesterday approved the expansion of our Dahej plant to the extent of 20 MMTPA, because this is being done in 2 phases, first 17.5 to 20 MMTPA and then 20 to 22.5. But the time gap will be only 6 months in between, so it will be in 3 and 3.5 years it will be ready. So this capacity will be available to us in Dahej. So these are all plans for Dahej. And then we look at the East Coast terminal, which we have planned at Gopalpur. So that is also underway. And as and when everything is finalized, everything is okay, then we'll go to the board for approval. And that will be costing around 1,600 crores or so. It will be FSRU terminal, which will have a capacity of 4 million tons.
Right, sir. Thanks for this clarification. Can I also slip in one more question about the tariff increase for the Kochi terminal? Earlier in the call, you mentioned that you would be willing to sort of look at the lower tariff as and when volume develops for the Kochi project. And the additional incremental volumes are still sort of 1 more year away before when the pipeline actually gets completed. So when you are trying to conclude this discussion for tariff negotiation this quarter, are you sort of willing to reduce it even before the quantity ramps up?
No, actually, we are looking at even before the quantity ramp up, because this is future planning, future cash flow we have taken into account after their commitment. So ultimately, this will not impact PLL in the long run, and that's the reason we have agreed to it. And of course, that volume which is coming up in 2025-26, for that we have sought commitment from them, and that is what they have committed. They are almost on the threshold of committing it to the extent of 50% of the commitment. So accordingly, it will be a revised tariff from now onward, and perhaps I think it is from 2019 it will be. 1st April 2019. So it is being done looking at the cash flows in future for entire period of contract of this ExxonMobil. So accordingly we are going ahead, but that has to be seen, because we cannot ignore one aspect, that the tariff at Dahej, Kochi is highest, and perhaps no terminal in India and abroad has having so much of tariff. So that part has to be considered. So that's why we are, of course, against some commitment. We are thinking of reduction in it, but it will not be reduced too much, whatever possible. But no doubt in future, if it is utilized to the extent of 80%, 90%, then certainly we may bring it to the level of Dahej also, so that there is a unified tariff, and perhaps then it will be more level playing field for them also, that they have to pay only that much for what they are paying in Dahej. But right now it is only imagination that we think of, that it will be utilized to 100% or 90%. So accordingly, we will reduce tariff, but not to the level of Dahej. It will be a small amount which will be reduced. So let us see what happens in the fourth quarter. We will not disclose everything now.
Thank you, sir, for giving this insight.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Avdut Sabnis from InCred Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So the question on the user pay, some calculations that I have made, just wanted to confirm them because they don't seem to tally. So you reported a user pay revenue of 348 crores in CY21. And if I take the Dahej regas tariff at 54.32, that would imply user pay volumes of 64 TBTUs. And as far as CY21 is concerned, user pay volumes overall is 8.5. Sorry, the total contract volume is 8.5, which is 420 TBTUs, against which actual volumes are 389. So the shortfall is 32. So it's 32 shortfall, whereas the billing seems to be for 64. Sorry, have I got something wrong in terms of calculation?
So Mr. Vivek will explain it.
Yeah.
You are doing some theoretical calculation because many a times it happens that some capacity holders book additional.
Sorry to interrupt you, I'm unable to hear you.
Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Abdul, so what I was explaining, so yes, theoretically the calculation you are doing is correct, but many times it happens that some capacity holders book additional slots also. So if you account for those, the numbers you have given does not seem to tally, because some capacity holders have booked additional slots, so they have done more than their capacity and some have done below their capacity. So user pay charges are applicable only on those customers who have done less than their capacity. And there is no set off that somebody who has done excess, that volume can be set off against someone who has done short.
Perfect. Understood. Great. Slightly related question. The debtors was 2160 crores as on September 21. Would it be possible to share the debtors figure as on December 21?
This quarter we are asking.
You are looking for
debtors on 31st December.
Yeah.
You are asking for
31st December.
31st is still around 3,000 something crores.
3,307 crores.
3,307 crores.
Sorry, 3,300?
Yeah, Abdul, is it audible?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 3,307 crores, but this includes the current period debt as well. Absolutely. As on the date, the debtor position. Total debtor position as on date, including
Debtors position as on 31st December, right?
Yeah.
Understood. Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yogesh Patil from Reliance Securities. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question, sir. I have a couple of questions. So first one is related to, could you please share the Dahej terminal utilization for the month of January? Is it a lower compared to third quarter FY22 or higher? We just wanted to know directionally, higher or lower compared to the third quarter FY22.
We will talk about in the next quarters. Why I was asking for January, it is too premature to talk about the numbers right now.
Okay. And sir, the second one is related to, have you taken a tariff hike in a month of January for the Dahej terminal and what
Yes.
are the
Yes, we have taken.
Okay.
Both Dahej we have taken, yes.
And is it a 5% or less?
5%. It is as per contract.
Okay. And what about the Kochi terminal, sir?
It is revised in March, 1st of April. So accordingly, we will do it on 1st of April.
Okay. And the last question from my side, sir, if we see India's gas demand has increased 5% YOY during the quarter and mostly supported by increase in domestic gas production. And in next 1 to 2 years, we would see additional domestic gas production from the domestic field. So which will likely impact on the LNG demand in India. At the same level, our additional Dahej capacity will be ready in next 3 years. So how do you see the utilization levels of Dahej terminal after expansion? And are you getting any fresh requests from clients for booking a capacity at Dahej terminal?
Oh, so far, if you look at, you are talking about the domestic production first. Of course, it will impact only to a certain extent. Because as of now, the prices are very high. So we cannot say that people prefer LNG as compared to domestic gas. But when this situation will be normalized in the next few months, then it will be even at the level of almost domestic gas. So what I feel that the demand in India is elastic in fact. It increases when there is a lower price and it decreases when there is a higher price. So there is a gap in that. So perhaps right now it's because the domestic gas is available, high pressure, high temperature, so that gas is being utilized. But I hope that when the prices are normal in future, the demand will increase, and as far as our capacity booking is concerned, we are not bothered because it's only something is available, then we are able to utilize it. So what is happening that sometimes we are not able to accommodate the cargo because we have some plans as per our ADP, so it is being executed and we don't have a space. But now after expansion, we will have enough capacity to even book the short-term or long-term capacity booking also, and otherwise also we can utilize it for spot and short-term cargo. And further, this answer will be supplemented by our VP Marketing, Mr. G.K. Sharma.
Hello, good afternoon. What hypothetically you were thinking, the demand will remain stagnant and share of LNG will be eaten out by HPHT gas, which is not the fact. Fact is, if you see the way exponentially the common minimum program in CGD around 9, 10 and now 11 and 11A is there. So first thing is that gas demand is going to increase in the next 2-3 years substantially. Number 2, there are few fertilizer plants which are coming online. Number 3, there are expansion of refineries, and refineries in fact have inherent capacity of going up. So in any case, to cater to that demand, domestic production is not sufficient. LNG and in turn RLNG requirement is going to increase. And if you see, while I am answering your question of capacity build-up at Dahej is having inherent advantage of, number 1, it is best connected, strategically placed. Also, its tariff is one of the most competitive in the market. Given all these added advantage and demand coming up, because I am serving PLL, that's why I am not telling, but even if you increase from above 22.5, Dahej will be in comparison with better place with any other terminal. So it makes very important for Dahej terminal to get capacity added. And overall, Dahej, as you must have heard our MD sir speaking in the morning, the cost advantage of Dahej for incremental capacity is immense as compared to any other terminal. The capex required to expand it by 5 MTPA is fraction of developing a new greenfield project. So I hope I could give ample reasons why Dahej should be expanded and why it is best placed as compared to the competition, and market demand need to be catered, otherwise it is a perishable. Could you?
Yeah. Thanks, sir. Thanks a lot. And any update on getting any fresh request from client side for booking the capacity at Dahej expansion terminal, new capacity? Any request, fresh request you are getting from the client?
Keep getting those requests, but with the time we have to see our internal requirement, our business requirement, and we'll see. It is too early to comment on that.
Okay, thanks a lot, sir. Really helpful.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Sabri Hazarika from Emkay Global Financial Service. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. So I have two sets of questions. Firstly, the bookkeeping questions. So the regas service income for the quarter, how much would that be?
755 crores total.
Excuse me?
Sorry, it is 755 crores in total.
9 months will be 765 crore.
For the quarter, 755 crores.
755 crores. Okay, and what about Gorgon volumes in Dahej?
About 2.89 TBTU.
2.89 TBTU. Okay, and what about the India's 119? Ind AS adjustment for the quarter. So, how much would that be on the raw material and COGS?
Yeah, for the quarter, you can see that gross margin level 145 crore positive.
Okay.
EBITDA level 5 crore positive, and negative is 161 crores. So net negative is 111 crores.
Okay, 161 will be depreciation will be how much?
Depreciation and interest both total is 161 crores.
161 crores.
Yeah.
And net is around 11 crore negative, right?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. And second question is on your take or pay, user pay only. So considering the one where the dispute is running right now, and you said that you come up with an agreement. So what was the reason behind this dispute? I mean, user pay is very much part and parcel of this business. So how come these 3-4 off-takers, 2-3 off-takers, this dispute emerged at the first place? And why, how it is different from other user pay demands actually?
So, Sabri, you are talking about the note which we have given last time.
Yeah, I mean, there are two notes. One is the older one where you said that you made some settlement and some of the customers. Then again, you have mentioned for CY21 also. So I understand CY21, that is a fresh issue. CY21, it has gone up because of COVID, because of higher gas prices. But the older one, maybe it's like it predates CY21, it seems. So, and why it was like, why it became a separate dispute altogether?
See, what happened that at that point of time, one of the off-takers brought the cargoes in the same contract year at different place at Kochi. So what happened that they said that they brought some spot cargoes there, and in fact, had they brought those cargoes to Dahej, that would have adjusted the use of pay charges against that. But now what happened that this cannot be considered as per the contract. But if you look at the revenue, we have earned revenue instead of at Dahej, we have earned at Kochi. So it's a practical decision which has been taken by our board that somehow they have brought 2 more cargoes at Kochi. Had they brought it to Dahej, there would not have been any user pay charges on that. So considering all those things, it has been decided that of course there is no revenue loss as such, because ultimately we have got revenue at the rate of Kochi tariff, which is 79 rupees almost, in place of Dahej. So somehow it has been mitigated. So that's why it was considered.
So these are like three customers, right? All 3 of them have done this?
No. One of the customer has already paid it. And
okay,
second one, we are talking to pay. So third one is settled. Because of this reason which I have just told you, there is no revenue loss.
Okay. So, but it is more like a exceptional condition, what you were trying to say, and not in the. I mean, it's happened one time only in case of this Kochi.
It's a one-off settlement decision which is taken. It is not to be considered as a practice for future. So it's a one-off decision which has been taken by the board, and as a one-time settlement it has been done.
Okay.
There is no precedence for the future by doing this.
Right. So thank you so much, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of S. Ramesh from Nirmal Bang Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, and thank you very much, and congratulations on the good results. My first thought is on the Kochi terminal, can we have some update on the Kochi Mangalore pipeline in terms of the normal pipeline, and what is the expectation in terms of when you will see the capacity utilization going up to the target at 30 or 35%, and how do you see the eventual utilization of the Kochi terminal over the next 2 to 3 years?
Yeah, Kochi-Mangalore pipeline, as you already know, it was commissioned way back in 2020, November 2020. After that, the throughput has already picked up. But then suddenly the kind of prices which are prevailing now in the previous almost last 1 year, so that is causing a little bit disturbance in full, at least utilization up to 30%, 35%. So we are really looking at that because the price of gas is so high that the refineries and other customers who are using, they are finding other alternate fuels are more cheaper as compared to natural gas. So maybe after 2-3 months when we find that prices have eased, then they will start picking up, taking more natural gas than other fuels. So this is the reason that it is not being utilized as envisaged earlier, that we will utilize up to 30-35%. But certainly the prices have played havoc in consumption of natural gas in that region. And that's why that the utilization level is not that high, which we anticipated will be to the range of 30-35%. It had gone up to the level of 23-24%. But now again it has come down to 19%. So we thought it will further move upwards, but it has not because of prices of gas. But we hope that once this crisis is over, then certainly when the prices ease down, then people will start using natural gas in place of other fuels.
So in terms of that pipeline configuration, technically the entire thing has been completed as it is, because in between they have done a stopgap arrangement in the Chandragiri crossing. So right now the entire thing is done as per specification, and all the 3 anchor customers in Bangalore can draw the gas. Is that a fair understanding?
No. What's your question actually? It's not very clear. Can you just speak again? What is your question?
So when they commissioned the pipeline, initially they had done a stopgap arrangement for the Chandragiri crossing. So we understood that the entire thing will be completed with the proper pipeline over a period of time. So in terms of the technical configuration of that pipeline, has it been completed as envisaged in the original design?
I have to see it because we have questioned. It's a very, very good question you have asked. Though that time the Chandragiri river was crossed and the loop line was created along with the bridge. But it was envisaged that because of the condition of rock over there, the HDD was not possible. So GAIL had promised that they will lay in a period of time. In the meantime, they have just built the pipeline along with bridge. So I think I will confirm to you later on, but I will have to ask GAIL people whether they have done it or not. But that is not impacting the consumption because consumption is not that high. So even with this kind of lower dia pipeline which they have put up right now, 6-inch or 8-inch, whatever is there, it is not impacting the consumption pattern in that region. But of course, it has to be upgraded to almost 18-inch or 24-inch. So that will be done in due course, but I have to confirm it, how far they have done it. It was only 1 kilometer stretch or maximum half kilometer, not more than that. So maybe that they may have completed, but I'll have to confirm with GAIL people.
Okay. So the next thought is, if you look at the global LNG market, a lot of countries and companies are signing up with the liquefaction projects across the world, including Russia. So is India kind of lagging behind? What are your thoughts in terms of being able to contract, additional volumes from new LNG projects which are now getting completed? And is there any progress in terms of our negotiation with Qatar? What is the status now?
You're talking about a liquefaction terminal in Russia and other places.
Yeah, so in terms of the global market, the across the world, we've seen companies and countries are arranging finance and taking equity stakes and tying up the sourcing of LNG. And what I understand is it's a pretty tight market. So are we kind of lagging behind? And is there a risk that we may possibly find it difficult to tie up future requirements, especially for petrol LNG, because the contract with Qatar gas has to be renewed, say, after 2028?
Yeah, I'm just what I could get from you that projects are coming up, no doubt. As far as the financing is concerned, this is not an issue, and projects are coming up where the prices now realized are very high. But as far as our contract is concerned with Qatar Gas, we are seeking to extend it after 2028, and we have already started discussion with Qatargas, and we are in talks for extending this contract for the future period. And apart from that, other terms and conditions will also be discussed, like the price of natural gas, which will be determined, how it has to be. It should be Brent based, or it should be mix of Henry Hub, mix of JKM and Brent or Henry Hub. So like that, those issues are to be finalized. But we are very much serious about extending the contract beyond 2028. And this we have conveyed to our counterpart in Qatargas, and they are in discussion with us. And perhaps we have a timeline of December 2023 by which we have to confirm that we are going to extend it. So from now onward, we have started discussion, and we are hopeful that this will be concluded. This is a very good contract for India, looking at the kind of prices and even the distance which is there. It's a very minimal shipping cost for bringing LNG to India. So this is the most favorable contract India has ever had it.
Okay, thank you very much, and I'll join back with you.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Varatharajan from Antique Limited. Please go ahead.
Thanks for the opportunity, sir. So on the Bangalore front, the pipeline, what is the status today? And what is the offtake by incrementally by guys like IOC for city gas there?
You're talking about Bangalore pipeline?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, actually that part is going on. GAIL is already doing it, and the section up to Coimbatore is complete. And it's only 250 kilometers from Coimbatore to Bangalore, which is to be completed. But only issue is that again the political issues are coming up. So they have suggested, instead of going to the fields of farmers, they have suggested that you should take the pipeline along the highways. So all those things are being thrashed out by GAIL, and GAIL has committed that they will complete it. The only thing is that there are certain issues which are to be sorted out. But we are hopeful that in next 1 year or maximum 2 years it should be complete.
Thanks, sir. And as far as user pay and thing is concerned in Dahej, if you could just give us the corresponding volumes which are currently there. I'm sure you have given it in the past, or just for a confirmation sake. What are the volumes which are currently under the user pay?
Actually, I am not getting your voice clearly. There is an issue. Can you speak loudly so that I can understand your question?
Yeah, is it better, sir?
Yeah, what have you spoken? I just understood. Now speak again.
Yeah. No, I was referring to this user pay. What is the corresponding volumes which are currently under user pay? You have given it in the past. I just wanted to get a confirmation on that.
User pay volume you want?
Yeah, that's right.
It's at the rate of tariff. We are charging the tariff is around 54 rupees. So accordingly, you can work it out.
No, the volume, sir. What amount of volume is under user pay currently?
Currently, you mean to say in January or the last year?
I'm sorry, sir?
You mean to say in the last year, what was user pay volume?
Yeah. So even in the current year as well, what is the quantum of volume under the user pay? Yeah.
It is the calendar year. So what has happened that from January to December, what has been shortfall in the capacity utilization, that has been charged as user pay on the last day of the month of December 2021. So accordingly, we have done. Our exact volume, I think we have, but you can work it out. We will have to see how much is the volume, because the customer-wise we have done differently. So
if I remember right, 15.75 million tons is under user pay.
57. Last year 54, 55 almost. Almost 55 rupees, you can work it out. So volume is not a big thing. It is there. Last year it was 55 crore. Yeah. This year it is 347 crore. Last year it was 55 crore.
Okay, not a problem.
So this is as per contract. There is no need to go into the volumes and how much room we have done. All those things have been worked out, and you can work out it based on the figures we have given.
Thank you.
Thank you. I request all the participants, please restrict to one question per participant. The next question is from the line of Amit Murarka from Axis Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. So my question was again on user pay. So you said that during the year it is allowed for the off-taker to make up the lost volumes or shortfall of volumes in the rest of the quarters. But let's say if your terminal is running full and there is a request for that additional volume in a particular month or a quarter, but you're not being able to fulfill that request. So what happens in that situation? Will you still charge the take or pay, or will that be up for again discussion and waiver?
We will charge it because if we have slot, then only we can accommodate them. Otherwise, they have already lost the opportunity which they were provided for.
Sure. So it's on a basically basis of availability of the slot. Okay.
Yeah, that is true. Because we can accommodate, then we will certainly do that. But otherwise, if they have not brought their cargoes as per schedule, this is their fault. So they will be subjected to use of pay charges at the year end.
Oh, sure. And also on the regas, you had earlier mentioned that you were requesting them for that pending cargoes, 46 cargoes. So was there any progress, or we are still discussing?
What is fixed cargo? I couldn't understand your question.
No, so there was some shortfall of cargoes of offtake from RasGas. So I believe.
Okay. You are asking bringing the cargoes from RasGas. There was a shortfall in this period.
Yeah.
Yeah, that we are pursuing with them, and in fact, it has been to the extent of almost 8 cargoes which have been there in shortfall.
Oh, 8 cargoes, okay.
But of course, we have certain other cargoes also. Total, if you look at other cargoes which we have not brought since 2015, it is total number is 50 and 8 cargoes in the last year. So 58 cargoes were there. And we have sought to bring in 46 cargoes from Qatargas to supply 46 cargo in this current calendar year contract year, which they said they will consider. We have given a request to them to give us 46 cargoes out of the 58 cargoes, which is a shortfall in the previous few years.
Okay. So as of now, there is no progress on that front then?
There is no progress. They have not conveyed anything to us. But if they convey, then certainly we'll share with you.
Sure. So I guess it is fair to assume then if the LNG prices remain that high, they will probably not be looking at it.
Because the LNG prices are high and they have commitment all over, so certainly they will have some scope for that, then they will give us. If they don't have the volume with them, how can they give us? But we have requested.
Sorry to interrupt you, Amit. I'll request to come back in the question queue for a follow-up question. A request to all the participants, please restrict to one question per participant. The next question is from the line of Maheshwari from Morgan Stanley. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thank you for the call. I just had a question regarding your capex for the next year or 2 years, and how are you kind of thinking about dividends as well, considering your current projected capex?
See, it's not a big issue. As far as capex is concerned, in the next 2-3 years, we can meet the capex from our internal generation, and of course, if required, we will also take a loan so that we can meet the project requirement. But we will try to give the dividend as much as possible, to the extent possible in the next 2-3 years. Beyond that, we cannot predict right now, but of course, as and when there will be cash generation with us, and certainly project requirement will be only limited, then we will continue to pay dividends. So there should not be any concern as far as the dividend payment is concerned. But for the big projects, if at all, like petrochemical we are talking about, we will go for debt also. So it will not be only through internal generation. We will go for debt, which may be in the range of 60-40 debt equity ratio. So 70-30 maybe. So accordingly, we will plan that. But for the big projects, we will certainly source funds from the debt market. And otherwise, if there is a small project, then we can meet it through our internal generation, which we are doing right now also for the tanks, like it's only 1,200 crores. So we are not seeking any loans from outside. So like that, we have jetty also. We will not seek any loan from outside. But certainly for a big project like Petchem, if it comes, then we will think of debt also.
Okay. And sir, do you have numbers for fiscal 23 and 24 that you can guide us for on the investment side?
Yeah, we can, right now, if you look at the capex, which has been 22-23, it may be in the range of, say, 1,500 crores or 1,400 crores. This is how we are shaping in. And maybe in the next 23-24, we will come up with exact number. But 22-23, I can say this will be in the range of maximum 1,500 crores. It may be less than that also.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vikas Jain from CLSA India Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Thanks for taking my question. Sir, so this, can you just tell us this user pay, the total debtors which are sitting over there, how do we suspect that these will get settled? Will we basically allow them to offset this for future capacity usage? Or, how do you suspect that these will get settled?
Right now, we are hopeful that they will pay it because contractually they are required to pay. So, as of now, there is no concern. But of course, if there is a genuine reason for that, I have said earlier also that in the first quarter there has been a pandemic impact, and certainly the consumption level have been low at that point of time. So maybe for 2-3 months, if the request is made, we can think of it. But otherwise, we don't foresee any reason why they should not pay. Because it's a user pay charges as per contract.
And what is the total debtors? And broadly, if that has to be settled from that perspective that you have.
Total debtors you are asking, or you are asking
debtors,
only for this?
Basically, purpose? No. I mean debtors are for this reason, user pay debtors.
User pay debtors, I have told you, it's 332 crores. 15 crores we have already realized. Towards user pay charges.
So 332 of this year, and the old one is only whatever you have mentioned on 0.5, which is the.
Yeah, it is mentioned in the note. Yeah, also, it is given.
Okay. So the total. Okay. So maybe some adjustment because of the first quarter is what you foresee broadly.
It is. Yeah. It may be because it's not right to say that whatever be the situation, you have to bring it. Because there has been a COVID impact and there was a lockdown in that period. So consumption levels had gone down at that point of time. But of course, again, that is a matter of discussion. And again, it is up to the board to decide. So we cannot predict right now. But of course, if there is a request, then it will be only to that extent. And maybe only those cargoes we may allow them to go for bringing them in future. And so that's all what we can say. Otherwise, as of now, as per contract, these are all payable. Hello.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll take that as the last question. And now hand the conference over to Mr. Mohit Mehra for closing comments.
On behalf of IIFL Securities, I would like to thank the management of Petronet LNG for giving us this opportunity. I now hand over the call to the management for the closing comments.
Thank you. I think we have tried our level best to perform whatever best possible this quarter. And we always try to meet the expectation of investors. And this is the reason that if you look at our performance, it is not as if it has come automatically. We have made a lot of efforts. Our marketing team, our operation maintenance team, all have worked very hard. So that's why we are able to get this result. I don't know how far this is reflected in the prices of shares. But if you look at our effort, it is immense. You can imagine that nobody expected to that level that we can make a profit to the extent of 1144 crore in this quarter. Still we have made it somehow. So this is what I am saying, that every time our entire team is tirelessly working towards increasing the wealth of shareholders, to increasing the value of share of Petronet LNG, and we try to do whatever best possible so that every year we create a record. You see, since the last so many years, you will find that we are increasing our effort, and it is the effort works, and then we are better than last time, always. So there has been a growth of almost 30% in PAT and 39% in PBT. We hope this to continue, and we will work out the avenues where we can make money, even if this, even though the capacity utilization is low. Still, we are making money in some other things like trading and other businesses. So this is what shows that effort is always there, that we should go as far as possible, and we should leave no stone unturned in making the profit, so that our investors always feel that there is a growth in the company. And perhaps new projects which will come in future will further increase the revenue prospects of company, and the profitability outlook will also be increasing. So I think with all that, I just expect cooperation from all of you to give a positive outlook to our this company, and just tell the people that we are working professionally. We are trying to make everything out of the market, and perhaps we have so many plans to do in future. You must be knowing that we have planned to have an office in Singapore also, for which the board has already given an approval. So we may have an office in Singapore, which will again be in the business of trading LNG. So all those things are being considered by our management. So that's what I just wanted to convey. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. On behalf of IIFL Securities Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines. Thank you.